NPC recognition of player power in video games. In modern role-playing and action games, the progression of the player character often leads to immense strength, extensive capabilities, and a growing inventory of powerful equipment. However, this gameplay progression is frequently disconnected from the narrative, a phenomenon known as ludonarrative dissonance. While players may become capable of feats far beyond those of any other character in the game world, non-playable characters, NPCs, often continue to treat them as ordinary or novice participants. This paper explores a specific subversion of this dissonance: games in which NPCs recognize the player's power based on in-game accomplishments and subsequently alter their behavior, storylines, or mission structure accordingly. To assess how games incorporate recognition of player power into their narrative structure, we consider several criteria. First, we examine whether NPC behavior or dialogue is altered based on observable in-game progress, such as leveling, gear acquisition, or quest completion. Second, we analyze whether the game offers narrative consequences for this progress, such as unique missions or altered endings. Third, we look for examples where the acknowledgement of player strength is optional, and emergent rather than fixed. Finally, we assess how these elements are integrated into the broader systems of the game. One of the clearest examples of this design is found in Cyberpunk 2077, particularly the Don't Fear the Reaper ending. This route becomes available only if the player has sufficiently leveled up and is well equipped, allowing them to storm the Arasaka Tower solo without the help of any allies. The challenge is significant, and failure results in a unique game over ending. While this route provides a rare convergence of gameplay skill and narrative closure, the game world itself offers little explicit acknowledgement of the player's solitary victory, highlighting both the potential and limits of such design choices. Final Fantasy XIV presents a more extensive and sustained implementation. Across multiple expansions, the player's reputation grows organically, and NPCs increasingly defer to the player character, known as the Warrior of Light. By the time of the Endwalker expansion, the protagonist is openly recognized as the strongest being in the universe, with characters and even enemies commenting on their legendary feats. Certain side quests even humorously reference this power, such as fetch quests where NPCs are astonished that a hero of such stature is delivering sandwiches. The game also subverts this trope through narrative arcs like the Dark Knight questline, which explores the psychological toll of being relied upon too heavily. Monster Hunter World and its sequel, Monster Hunter Wilds, also offer strong examples. Initially one of many hunters, the player soon becomes known as the Sapphire Star, a legendary figure tasked with the most dangerous assignments. NPCs regularly express awe or deference, and late-game missions are explicitly assigned to the player alone, with characters trusting them to face catastrophic threats. This narrative escalation parallels the player's progression through increasingly difficult hunts, forging a coherent ludonarrative experience. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 showcases a grounded version of this mechanic. Reputation and accomplishment shape NPC reactions. Bandits may recognize the player as a renowned tournament champion and choose to speak admiringly instead of initiating combat. This dynamic recognition, based on prior in-game performance, creates a world that feels responsive and alive. Similarly, Ace Combat 4 and 7 depict the protagonist as an ace pilot whose enemies grow visibly terrified during missions. Dialogue snippets reveal that both allies and adversaries perceive the player as a near-mythic force by the final stages of the game. Other titles implement these ideas to varying degrees. In The Witcher 3, Geralt's status as a powerful witcher is acknowledged narratively, but enemy behavior and major story beats are largely unaffected by how strong the player has become. Skyrim and other Bethesda titles often ignore the player's status, resulting in absurd situations where lowly bandits attack characters who are the literal leaders of multiple factions. Mass Effect includes narrative respect for the player character, but this is more a result of fixed story progression than dynamic gameplay recognition. Games like Control, Prototype, and Infamous reflect player power in environmental and dialogic cues, yet still lack systemic branching based on strength. The mechanics that enable meaningful NPC response include reputation systems, conditional dialogue tied to player stats, and dynamically branching quest paths. Enemy AI that reacts to player performance, such as fleeing or surrendering, further enhances immersion. The challenge lies in designing such systems without alienating players who may not reach high levels or complete extensive side content. Balancing accessibility with rewarding depth is crucial. Narratively acknowledging player strength offers significant benefits. It aligns gameplay with story, enhancing immersion and reinforcing the player's sense of agency. Such integration can redefine the hero archetype in interactive media, portraying protagonists who are not just written as powerful but are shown to earn that power through gameplay. This harmony strengthens emotional investment and creates more coherent, believable game worlds. In conclusion, while many games present the player as the central hero, only a select few fully integrate the player's gameplay-earned strength into the narrative. Titles like Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy XIV, Monster Hunter World, and Kingdom Come: Deliverance II demonstrate how this can be done effectively, offering players unique experiences where their accomplishments are not only recognized but shape the world around them. As game design evolves, greater emphasis on aligning narrative with emergent player performance can deepen immersion and storytelling in meaningful ways.